Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Tuesday, February 15th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a quick little recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for tonight's slate. It is a 7-game slate overall, and then after that, we'll be talking about my picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for tonight's slate as well. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. So we're going to start off on the DraftKings side. We had Drew Holiday, $7,800, looking for 39 points out of him. There was obviously no Giannis last night. He got to 36.5 points, so he's a miss, but it just missed at that. Hopefully one that didn't kill you too bad overall. He had 7 turnovers yesterday, so that kind of knocked him down just a little bit. Otherwise, probably pays off for his price tag. Then at shooting guard, we had Quentin Grimes, $3,000, looking for 15 points on him. He got to 35.75, so he was an over 11 times value yesterday, almost a 12 times value for his price tag. Very, very good hit yesterday. Then in small forward, we had Justice Winslow, $5,600, looking for 28 points on him. He got to 39, so he was a good hit as well. Then Terrence Mann, $4,300, looking for 22 points out of him. He got to 46.25, so over a 10 times value on yesterday's slate as well. Then last but not least, at the center position, we had Nikolai Vucevic, $9,800, looking for 49 points on me. He got to 54, so he was ahead as well. So 4 out of 5 on the DraftKings side, with 2 players over 10 times their value at their price tag, respectively. So a very, very good day on the DraftKings side. Then on the FanDuel side, we had Anthony Simons at the point guard position, $6,900, looking for 35 points on him. He got to 43.4, so he was a good hit. Then we had Chris Middleton, $7,600, looking for 38 points on him. He got to 41.7, looking very good after Giannis was ruled out yesterday, so he was a hit as well. Then at small forward, we had Justice Winslow once again, $6,000, looking for 30 points on him. He got to 39, so he was a hit. And then we had Jeremy Grant at power forward. This was the lone miss on the FanDuel side yesterday. Looking for about 29 points out at $5,700. Got to 18.2. He was a miss. He really just scored the ball and nothing else yesterday, and he really wasn't even that great at scoring the ball yesterday, so unfortunately he was a miss. Then last but not least, we had Nikolai Vucevic, $9,900. Looking for 50 points out. He got to 49.7, so he was ahead as well. So 4 out of 5 on the FanDuel side, 8 out of 10 overall in the day. So a pretty solid day all around, especially when you're looking at that DraftKings side. You had a lot of points to start off with, and then if you made some other good picks from there, probably did really well on the DraftKings side yesterday. And then the FanDuel side was still pretty successful as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over into the injuries and play for tonight's slate. So this is the 7-game slate. Once again, it is starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight instead of 7 o'clock. So there is 3 games that tip off right away at 7:30. So we'll start off with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are without Lauri Markkanen once again today. So no changes there. For the Atlanta Hawks, John Collins is out in tonight's game. So Danilo Gallinari did end up starting for him. The last time he didn't play very well at all by any means, but I do assume that he probably ends up starting once again. Bogdanovich and DeLon Wright are both questionable to play at this point in time. We'll see if they play or not. Bogdanovich's kind of been banged up throughout the year, but still been playing relatively well. Then for the Dallas Mavericks, they are without Tim Hardaway Jr., Teo Penson, Marquise Chris, and then Trey Burke is questionable as well. So a little bit of their depth bench kind of in question tonight, but they should have Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans for this game as well. Then for the Miami Heat, they were without Tyler Hero, Markieff Morris, and Victor Oladipo. Jimmy Butler is questionable. I believe it's a shoulder injury he's dealing with, and then Caleb Martin is questionable as well. So we'll see if those two end up playing or not. Otherwise, there could be some pretty good value on this Heat team overall tonight. Then for the Boston Celtics, they have Daniel Theis listed as questionable. We'll see if he plays tonight or not. For Philadelphia 76ers, just James Harden out. He's going to miss this game and one more game and before he makes his 76ers debut. For the Memphis Grizzlies, they're without Dillon Brooks, Yves Pons, and Xavier Tillman. Ja Morant is questionable, dealing with an ankle injury. He did end up playing through it the last time after getting injured earlier in the game. We'll see if he's able to play tonight or not. Obviously, if he's not, then Tyus Jones is going to look like a great value overall. For the Pelicans, just Larry Nance and Zion Williamson out once again, so no changes there. We move down to the Pacers, who obviously have quite a few. They have Chris Duarte, who got hurt the last time out. He's out once again. Isaiah Jackson, TJ McConnell, Miles Turner, and TJ Warren. Malcolm Brogdon still listed as questionable. I don't expect him to play at this point in time. They might just shut him down for a while, but that still kind of remains to be seen. If he does end up playing, obviously he probably slides in that starting lineup in place of Chris Duarte, and then we'll kind of go from there. But if he doesn't end up playing, we could see somebody like Lance Stevenson enter that starting lineup, maybe Dwayne Washington, somebody else. Whoever that fifth starter is tonight could present a little bit of value overall. Then for the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis is questionable. He missed last night, and then George Hill questionable as well. Pat Connaughton and Brook Lopez obviously both had surgery, so they're out at this point in time. For the Charlotte Hornets, Gordon Hayward, Cody Martin, and Jalen McDaniels all out once again. Timberwolves, just McKinley Wright, questionable, and he's not in the rotation anyway, so essentially all the way healthy. For the Clippers, they're without Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Norman Powell, Jay Preston. Luke Kennard was out last night. I do assume that he's questionable today, but they still have him listed as out here. For the Phoenix Suns, they're without Frank Kaminsky, Cam Payne, Dario Saric, and Landry Shamet, so the same thing that we've been seeing out of them. Abdul Nader was on this list for a long time, but he got cut after they traded for Aaron Holiday and Torrey Craig. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for tonight's slate. Not like a ton that we're looking at, but obviously we're going to be monitoring Ja Morant and Giannis, whether they're playing or not. Jimmy Butler's obviously a big name, so a couple big names that we'll be watching throughout the day. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Trae Young. He is $9,300. Obviously looking for 46, 47 points. Currently having projected for 48 points tonight, averaging 49 points on the season. Could be a decent little matchup for him against this Cavaliers team. Obviously, there's no John Collins, so might have to do just a little bit more once again tonight. Then at shooting guard, we're going right back to Trey Mann, $4,600, looking for 23 points out of him. We've seen him play very well since he's been in that starting lineup, playing very, very big minutes once again. Currently, I'm projected for 29 points, but we've seen the upside in recent games that he can have as well. Then at small forward, we have Lance Stevenson, $4,000, assuming that he's in that starting lineup, only looking for 20 points down, averaging about 18 on the season. Currently, I'm projected for 22 points tonight. Definitely has a little bit of upside for more, as we've seen in some games throughout the season, but also has a little bit of downside for more, especially if he's not in that starting lineup. If he doesn't start, then obviously this is going to be somebody that's going to pivot throughout the day. And then at power forward, we have his teammate Oshai Brissett, who's been playing a lot of minutes, and he's been playing very well as of late. So he's $5,400, only looking for 27 points down, averaging 16 on the season, but over 40 points the last two games out. Currently, I'm projected for 30 points. Definitely looking like one of the better value options on tonight's slate overall. Then last but not least, we have Clint Capella, who is $5,300, looking for 26, 27 points at him. Averaging 33 on the season. Obviously, we saw his minutes go down for a while, but no John Collins, taking away some center minutes. Obviously, Okongwu's still there, but Clint Capella played over 30 last time out. Currently, I'm projected for 30 points tonight, looking like a very, very good value at that center position overall. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the DraftKings side, you have $21,400 remaining, just over $7,100 per player. Could probably pay up for one stud if that's something you want to do, and then plug and play from there. Or if you want to take a little bit more balanced approach, that's perfectly acceptable as well. A lot of good, bigger names on tonight's slate, so you might want to get at least one of them in your lineup at the very least, though. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So I'll start off by saying FanDuel is priced way more competitively than DraftKings today. So at the point guard position, we do have LaMelo Ball, $8,700. I know he's coming off a bad game, but he got in foul trouble against Ja Morant, so can't really knock him too much for that, but should be a pretty good matchup against a poor Minnesota Timberwolves defense as well tonight. $8,700, looking for 43, 44 points down. Currently, I'm projected for 45 points tonight. Definitely has a little bit of upside for more if he's playing well, if he's staying out of foul trouble, and if he's getting the minutes. And then at shooting guard, we're going to go with Reggie Bullock. I know they added Spencer Dinwiddie at this point in time, but the bench is kind of depleted as well. If Reggie Bullock still ends up starting, looks pretty good. If he comes off the bench and plays big minutes, still looks pretty good as well. He's $4,100, looking for 20, 21 points down. Currently, I'm projected for 22, 23 points tonight. Definitely has some upside for more as we've seen in recent games if he is shooting the ball well once again tonight. Then at small forward, not a lot of guys here that projected right around 5 times value. Terrence Mann was one of the closest. He's $6,000. Obviously, we've seen the upside that he's had since he's been back in that starting lineup. Currently having projected for 29 points. You're looking for 30 out of him. Definitely has a little bit of upside for more. A guy that I'm really willing to take a shot on once again tonight. Then at power forward, kind of the same thing as small forward. Not a lot of guys that projected too well. We had Jared Allen here, $7,400, coming off a down game, but before that, been playing very, very well. You're looking for 37 points at him. That's about what he's averaging on the season. Currently, I'm projected for 36, 37 points tonight, but definitely has a little bit of upside for more if he's out there, if he's playing well, if he's getting the rebounds, and if he's scoring just a little bit once again tonight. Then last but not least, we have Jonas Valanciunas, $6,700, a guy that I've been avoiding pretty regularly at this point in time, but when he's down to $6,700, kind of hard not to play him. You know, you're looking for 33, 34 points at him. Currently, I'm projected for 34, 35 points tonight. Decent little matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies. Obviously, if you're into revenge game narratives, he did play for the Grizzlies at one point in time, so could have a little bit of extra motivation there, but solid little play at the center position tonight. But when it comes to the FanDuel side tonight, do not be surprised if there is some pivots to this core throughout the day. I'll be listing the updated core about a half hour prior to lock, so definitely be sure you're checking that out as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the FanDuel side, you have $27,100 remaining, just under $6,800 per player. Maybe you can pay up for one higher priced player and then kind of go from there. Or if you want to take a little bit more balanced approach, that's something that definitely could work out pretty well on the FanDuel side today as well. But with that being said, these are my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings DraftKings for today, February 15th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on DraftKings or FanDuel. It could be one of the core 5 that I have for each site. It could be one that you just like on your own. There's a lot of interesting plays out there tonight. We'll have to see how much value does open up throughout the day, because that could definitely just flip this slate quite a bit. And then if you want to talk a little bit of Super Draft, definitely down to talk some Super Draft as well. JC Money Design and myself will be going live right around 5 o'clock over on his channel today to talk some Super Draft main slate, to talk some Super Draft Pro contest, which is going to be the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers game for the Wild Six. So definitely be sure to check that out. If you're into Super Draft, if you're looking to get into Super Draft, or even learn just a little bit more about Super Draft. And then, as always, I'll be listing all the injury updates, COVID news, and starting lineups down in the comments below, as well as my updated core, which I mentioned briefly before, about a half hour prior to lock. So definitely be on the lookout for all that, especially as we get closer to lock. But with that being said, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL. I'm not going to be helping you with NFL for a little while now, so mainly NBA. Also going to be talking a little bit of fantasy football, some dynasty, some NFL draft prospects, some news when it comes to NBA and NFL too, as well, as that news does become available throughout the offseason for the NFL and throughout the regular season for the NBA. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily NBA DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.